Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Power Lance, or Power Lances, from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This is the first item in the collection, at least weapons-wise, that we do not have a legacy version to compare it to, so there's not going to really be any comparisons in this video. There is, of course, the original 90s version, which there's honestly really no comparison. You know, those were definitely more of the kids' toy, smaller scale, meant to combine. You know, they were fine for what they are, but if you're looking for like a collector's item like this, there's really no comparison, and like I said, there's no legacy version to compare it to this time, so it kind of stands on its own, which is actually kind of exciting because you don't have any kind of been there, done that with this. So I'm going to go over the stand and stuff first since it's already out. As you can see, it's in stand mode configuration 1. You have a similar stand to what you get with the others, where it's kind of like this rock formation with this power coin helmet on there, which is really cool. You know, it's just kind of a cheap rock, but it looks kind of neat. And you can put it in this formation here, where you have the two lances sort of crossing like this, which is rather cool, and it saves space this way. You can also take the lances out, and you can display it like this. It's kind of hard to fit with the space. 1 second. There you go. And you can see you can display it like that. And you can also extend it, but it gives you the option for both modes. Now I actually want to go over the weapons themselves. So both of them actually do have electronics in them. You put the batteries in here on this side, you twist off the little like power coin cap, and then you unscrew it under there, and you have 3 AAA batteries that go under there for both of them, so 6 total, which is kind of a nice way of disguising it. Like, I was mixed in the sense that I think it's nice that they both have electronics, because toys like this will often have only one of them having electronics and a little bit lackluster, and you have one just sitting here. But on the other hand, that's a lot of batteries for this. I kind of wish, could you at least include the batteries? Not like we're never going to have to change the batteries again, but I think it would be just nice to have the batteries included. But anyway, so individually they largely look the same, you know, and they kind of sit on that same quality that all of the lightning weapons have, where I think they look nice. Absolutely, they look nice. They're not 100% accurate, you know, depending on what shot you're looking at. The blue's going to be a little darker in the show, the coin's going to look a little bit different. Honestly, that doesn't really bother me. I'm not looking for a 100% accurate prop cosplay thing. So long as it looks cool enough, I'm more than happy, but I just thought I would note it. I do have this weird thought on like the way it feels and looks though, where it's like strangely right between like a premium collectible and something that's more meant to be a fun toy. Like, obviously this is a toy, you're going to want to get some playability out of it, but just the quality and look of it, it just feels like it almost sits in this kind of can't decide what it wants to be thing, and I do wish it felt a little bit more premium. This is a little bit better for me than, maybe it's because I don't have the legacy counterpart to compare it to, but it does feel a little bit better to me, and I understand like the cost of plastic and stuff has changed, but I do miss having that feel of this is worth the money, and it's not so bad with this, but I feel it is worth noting. But otherwise, I think they look pretty cool. I mean, I think the coin looks really good. It's got a nice golden shine to it. The plastic looks a little bit cheap, but the silver here looks good. I think the silver on the lances look good. The details on here look good. The LEDs are actually going to be coming from here, which is kind of neat. And both of these extend, which is really cool. So you can extend them both in the individual modes and in the larger mode. And they both have the same sound. So let's go ahead and go over that. So when you press it once, much like with the sword, it activates sort of this humming standby mode where you can activate the motion sounds. So you can hear it kind of idling, and then you can see the illumination in between there. You can also activate it like this. You're par for the course sounds, but I have to say I really like the way the lights look here in the like almost sandwich between the blades. Like the light up feature on the red one was really cool to be sure, but it made it feel a little cheaper, and this is just kind of more subtle, and there's just something I kind of like about it. It looks like blue lightning, which is really neat. You can also then hold down the button. Well, actually, first of all, if you stop it, that's effectively like the on and off switch. Whether you're like, so right now, it won't make any noises or activate unless you were like do the extended mode like I did. But this effectively activates the motion sounds and the sounds in general. And you can also hold the button down to activate what they call display mode. So right there, it'll just stay lit up, and you can kind of have them on display, and it kind of flickers and stuff, which is really cool. And at the very end of the review, I'll show that with it in the display with that on. But obviously, that's not sustainable. Like, if you wanted to have it on display in a collection room or your room or whatever, and it kind of acts as also a sort of, for lack of a better word, night light, like, you know, some kind of mood lighting, that's really cool, but it's going to run out of batteries. I don't know how they would have done it. I mean, I do, but I don't know if it would have been more expensive or whatever, but it would have been cool if this had a counterpart and you can stop it with this button here, or where you could somehow plug it in, like have the stand have like a battery version and have it be able to have kind of a plugged in mode, because that'd actually be some really cool mood lighting because it's really subtle. But as you saw, they can extend. You just do this and it activates a different version of the clashing sounds, and you get a more extended version of the individual lance mode right there. Just snap them in here and then twist. And it will again activate those different sounds. But look, you can just see the pull here. It's kind of hard to fit this all in the area, but this is kind of the more retracted version of the lance here, which is really cool. And it feels a decent size. Obviously a lot better than the original 90s version that you have going on there. But also, you can extend both of them. You can't really tell what I did there, but then you have a really long power lance, which is really cool, and it actually feels really nice. It feels like a bow staff almost, and this is when it doesn't feel as cheap for me. I really like the way this feels and sort of spinning it around. Obviously, my area here is a little more limited with the review station, but you can see it's a very decent size, and it's really cool to be able to have that. And I like that you can have sort of extended and retracted modes for both the individual lance modes as well as the extended lance mode, because it makes it easier for both display, depending on purposes, and, you know, depending on where you're swinging it around. But being able to extend it in both these modes and the extended mode makes it feel really cool and a lot more like a prop and a weapon that you're holding. And I think especially when I have these together and in the extended mode, it does make it feel a lot more worth it, and it does evoke a little bit more of that, yeah, that was worth the money feel for this. Alright, I got it back in this mode here just because I wanted to hold the buttons down and show you the display mode. Like, it's kind of, you know, it's lit up in here, like with the review lights and stuff like that, but you can see that's kind of what it's trying to do, which is actually, it's pretty cool. Again, if there was some way to plug this in and have that as mood lighting, it looks really neat, and I really do like the way that the lights look here, kind of in between. It's got this lightning effect that's a little classier than the Red Ranger one. I know the Red Ranger one was meant to evoke the way he uses it in the show, which I think is really cool, but there's just something I dig about this one personally a little bit more. Overall, I have to say, I'm actually really pleased with these. I think maybe they're just a little bit more exciting because I don't have anything to compare it to. So again, I'm not going with that like, oh, you know, been there, done that situation. I kind of prefer the Lightning one. It's something entirely new that I, to be honest, wasn't that excited for. I think it's neat they're doing the other power weapons, but I was really pleasantly surprised. I still wish they were a little bit cheaper, like some sort of calibration between the price and how they feel, but I have to say, I'm really happy with these. I think they look really cool on display like this. I like that you can have multiple display modes. I think the sort of idle display mode with the lightning effect is really neat. Like I said, I really like the lighting on this. I think it looks really cool. I like that when you have it extended, as I mentioned, it feels really impressive and worth the money. I mean, I still wish it was a little bit cheaper for how it feels, but I have to say it's one of the closest feelings I've got to, like, yeah, this is like totally worth the price. It's like this really awesome, like one-to-one feel, and that's really cool, and I really do appreciate that about it. No theme or anything this time, which I'm actually kind of okay with, unless I just totally missed it, but I didn't find it or see it on the instructions. I'll amend the thing in the comments if that's not true. But regardless, I'm actually okay if not every lightning item plays the theme. In fact, I think it would have been cooler if every weapon played a different song, like make the sword play the theme song, and Green could have played the Green Ranger theme, and this maybe could have played Fight or something. I think that would have been neat, less repetitive than all the Legacy and Lightning ones playing the same theme, and it would give you more incentive to collect them all. But anyway, that's about it for this one, guys. Honestly, overall, I think if you're a fan of these weapons or Billy, I can actually really recommend checking these out. They might be my favorite lightning weapon overall, even though they don't do a whole lot. They were really a lot more fun and satisfying than I thought. Like, even just extending it feels satisfying and mechanical, which I really like. So maybe wait for a sale, because again, I still feel they're a little bit overpriced, but I have seen the other weapons go on sale before, so just keep an eye out. But I can definitely recommend keeping your eye on these. Anyways, guys, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.